Okay. For my presentation, I did Pocahontas. Pocahontas was a Native American who lived in the 17th century, born in 1596. She is known for interactions with English settlers and her relations with them. She was a big part of creating the balance of the Powhatan Confederacy and the Jamestown settlers, which has a crucial part on history of the United States. Pocahontas had a huge impact on the United States due to her encounter with the English settlers, ability to keep peace with the Jamestown colony, her marriage to John Rolfe, and journey to England, leaving a legacy. Pocahontas was born to the head of the Confederation of Native American tribes to her father, Powhatan. Her mother is not known, as her father had many wives, and we do not know which one of them was her mother. Pocahontas is not her original name. Her name is Motoka. The settlers knew her as Pocahontas, which is an English name that means playful or adventurous. The moment that changed her life forever was when her father captured English settlers in 1607. The leader of the group of settlers was named John Smith. Powhatan, after capturing them, planned an elaborate feast and ceremony that at the end was supposed to be the execution of the settlers. Pocahontas jumped in and stopped her father from killing the men. No one knows if this night was staged or if Pocahontas really convinced her dad in the moment to save the men. Although many historians believe different things, there's no doubt this act is what made Pocahontas so influential. It was the start of her journey. After this event, Pocahontas became a leading figure in saving the Virginia colony. She visited England many times that year, helping Smith with trade and telling him which tribes to avoid, which tribes were nice and which ones were not so nice. It was very clear that Pocahontas had a crush on John Smith, and he was fascinated with her culture and language, which they both taught to each other. Her learning some English and him learning the language of Powhatan. Pocahontas was also a big advocate and helped set many Native prisoners that were captured by the English. She also saved a boy named Richard Whiffen, who was a messenger that her father tried to kill. So she saved many people from her father. In December 1608, Pocahontas saved John Smith and his men one more time as she warned him of a plot that was made to kill him. She didn't see Smith for 8 years after this event. The year 1607 to 1608, Pocahontas accomplished so much, but her story does not end yet. In 1609, Smith experienced wounds and was forced to go back to England to heal. Without him there to direct the trade between the English and the Indians, warfare broke out. Pocahontas was sent to live with another tribe to keep her safe during this hostile time, but she was kidnapped as a hostage in 1613. Captain Samuel Argall left Pocahontas in the care of Reverend Alexander Whittaker while he awaited her father's response. Powhatan, not believing that the English would hurt her, only sent a few English settlers and sent a little amount of corn to set Pocahontas free, which just angered the English more. The negotiation took a long time, and as it went on, Whittaker and a widowed planter, John Rolfe, started teaching Pocahontas about the Christian faith. After several months, Pocahontas accepted the Christian faith and was baptized and renamed Rebecca. John Rolfe and Pocahontas fell in love, and they wanted to get married. The marriage to someone with little education and culture she was from, it was not easy for Rolfe to convince the government to accept this marriage. After advertising this wedding as a step in civilizing and converting the natives, the king accepted Rolfe's wish to marry Pocahontas. April 5, 1614, Pocahontas is escorted by her uncle down the aisle. Her father was supportive, but chose not to go to the wedding. Her father, Powhatan, played a big part in this, as he was an older leader wanting peace in his last days. Pocahontas became even more of a public figure as they moved back to England with their son, Thomas. Pocahontas and Rolfe made many appearances at the gala, and she even got her picture painted to sell to any Londoners who wanted to buy it. Pocahontas showed much courage, leaving all she knew behind, her culture, family, and religion behind when she married Rolfe. But what seemed to be the hardest moment for her was when she saw John Smith again. She had been told he had died, and upon seeing him, she fell silent and then cried. She famously said to him, "You shall call me child, and so I will be forever and ever your countryman." After spending time in London, Rolfe was appointed secretary of the Virginia colony, and they moved back to Virginia. After they left London, Pocahontas became ill and died. She was buried at Gravesend at a parish church there. That's her burial, where she was buried. Although sure, Pocahontas faced many adversities and made many contributions to history throughout her lifetime. Her youth and personality contributed to the fact that she played a role that was only played by men at that time. Pocahontas will always be remembered for her bravery and contribution to keeping the peace with the English and Indians. She proved that Indians and English could coexist and paved the path of many firsts in history. Smith who was very smitten with her, wrote, "Pocahontas saved the colony from death, famine, and utter confusion. Pocahontas saved the first permanent settlers in North America and changed U.S. history forever."